Hey folks, welcome to this episode of Split Screen. I'm here with Shemiah. Shemiah, what are you doing?
Can we keep him? Look at him.
No, dude, we gotta do an episode of Split Screen.
Oh.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shemiah Whitson here to welcome you to another episode of Split Screen.
And this is Ryan Lewis. I gotta tell you, Shemiah, after doing football with you and being sore for a year, I just wanted to have a nice break.
Well, fortunately for you, we are going to do goat yoga.
Yes, we're gonna relax in a nice studio with calming music, maybe some aromatherapy, the calming setting completely.
Goats. You forgot to add goats.
Goats? You mean like greatest of all time?
Sort of. We joined the fine folks at Goat Yoga where they led us through a session and made some very special friends. Check it out.
Hey Split Screeners, Ryan here. And we're here with Heather Davis, who instructed us in yoga today. So Heather, how long have you been doing goat yoga?
This is our second season, and it started a year before that, so 2016 was the start.
So for a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. And what, I guess, what is different about goat yoga compared to just regular yoga?
Why
is there goats? Yeah.
The idea was born so I'm not an Oregonian, I'm from Chicago. I moved here to kind of have this outdoor lifestyle, and I was at Lainey's farm and picked up one of her little goats, and it was just this beautiful outdoor setting. And being a yoga teacher, I just was like, oh look, let's do goat yoga. And it just, I don't know, it just was one of those things. Off your head and relax the back of your neck. Notice your breath here. Does it feel like I promise you will not do anything.
So out of all the goats, which one do you think is your favorite?
I like Quincy, this black and white one, the one that was standing on everybody today.
Yeah.
He's usually really introverted, but then some days he just decides he's going to steal the show, and he is climbing on everyone, and he's just really got a great personality.
Well, thank you.
Drawing your chest in the direction of your thighs. Hi, how's it going? Shift forward to a plank position, or the top part of push-ups, with the option of having your knees on the ground. So you're going to be plank or kneeling plank.
Well, thank you very much for having us today, and stay tuned, everyone. More to come. Well, that was surprisingly more relaxing than I thought.
You were like the goat whisperer or something. Goats are climbing on you left and right. How did you manage it?
It was my sheer animal magnetism, what can I say? But we do have a real goat whisperer, Lainey Morse, founder of Goat Yoga. How are you doing today, Lainey?
I'm great.
So I guess the question on like everybody's mind is like, why goat yoga? Why, how did you get started with something like that?
Well, it kind of just happened by accident. I had a birthday party at my farm, and one of the guests there was a yoga instructor, and we're standing out in the field, and all the goats are surrounding us, and she's like, you should let me have a yoga class out here. And so I said, okay, but the goats are going to be all over the humans, and she's like, cool. So we set up a photo shoot and a video, and had the class sold out, and we really thought only our family and friends would come to something like that, because who does that? And but it was a huge hit. I took the pictures of the class and sent them to Modern Farmer magazine, and just said, I think you guys would think these are cute for your readers. And they responded with a few minutes. They were just so excited, and they did a story on it, and my life has never been the same.
Yeah. Wow. So Why do you think it's become so popular?
I really think it went viral because at the time, you were having political debates, the world, ISIS, the war, the negative news was just overwhelming, and you just kind of dreaded looking at it. And when people saw cute goats interacting with people and, with their huge smiles and just looking at the pictures and watching the videos made people smile. So I think the world needed a happy distraction, and that's what goat yoga gives people.
Nice, nice. So where did it first originate, and how's it going with the rest of the country? Does it?
Well, my farm is about 8 miles from here, so it was born right here, and since it went viral, I've now started having satellite locations all over the country. Nice. I've got one in New York, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, California, 3 in Oregon, Michigan, and I've been interviewing people every day who want to be in one of my satellite locations. And so I even did an interview in Australia last week. So this morning I did one in Ireland. So, we're just trying to take over the world with some cute goats and make people happy.
How do you find instructors? Do you just are people just willing to be instructors for this type of yoga, or do you just have a certain criteria that you're looking for?
Well, Heather is my instructor at the 2 Oregon locations, and then the other instructor in Portland, she actually came to one of my classes, and so I reached out to her to see if she would be my instructor there. But my satellite locations find their own instructors, and so I do all the back-end marketing, customer service, scheduling, business development. I just love doing that part of it, and it's fun. It's a challenge. And then my partners in those states, they are the goat parents. So they make sure those goats are friendly and that they're loving. And, we have common thoughts of, this is the therapy for people. It's part yoga, it's part animal-assisted therapy. And that's really what it's meant to be. So it's not a cash cow. It's not dressing your goats up in costumes and making it look like a circus. Mm-hmm. It's really beneficial for people, and especially people with mental illnesses, who have depression or anxiety, or just people who have been diagnosed with illnesses. I have a lot of people that have been diagnosed with cancer who come and they celebrate their last chemo treatments and bring their friends and caregivers to people who, have illnesses. So it's really been way more than I ever anticipated. And, out of, 2,500 plus people that's been through the classes, I've never had anyone that was unhappy with the class. So I think that's a pretty good track record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So besides goats, what kind of other animals do you have experience with?
Well, I had dogs my whole life, and I love all animals, really. But when I moved out to the farm, I'd never lived in a spot where I could have animals or farm animals before, and I've always wanted goats. I never had any interaction with goats before. The first time I did was when I brought mine home. And I bought a book called Goats for Dummies. That's how I learned how to take care of my goats. So I really do love all animals. I have chickens and I have barn cats. I wasn't a big cat lover at first. That took a while, but now I love them too. So it's really neat to watch all the animals interact together. So every night I go out and we go for a farm walk, and all the goats follow me, and all the chickens, and it's really cute.
So what's this I hear about the pigs out in the Portland location?
Yeah, well, my Portland location partners are a bit animal crazy. They're going to end up with 100 goats, and those pigs are the cutest things ever. They're just these little baby cooney pigs, and so they're at the goat yoga classes, and they're a big hit.
Oh, that's so nice.
Sometimes they'll have a stray chicken walk in too, and you just never know.
So speaking of Portland, earlier you said that you've had some animal rights activists approach you about goat yoga.
Yeah, and these people, it comes from a good place in their heart, I think, and they just don't understand what we're doing. These goats are kids, no pun intended.
Or pun intended.
Right, yeah. But these goats are treated probably better than most kids. And we do not sell them for meat. The values of goat yoga are that they're treated with respect and love, and that they look at humans as I never give them treats, and so like you go into a petting zoo and those goats mob you, where my goats, you walk into my class and they're going to walk up to you because they want love and they want attention. So they just think the humans have been put on this earth to pay attention to them and love them. So it's a win-win for both human and goat. It's really beneficial because some people, there's kids that have been abused or, and talking therapy doesn't work for them. And when they're around animals, they feel less anxiety, and it just works really well for the therapy aspect of it.
So final question, we got to meet a lot of different goats, but which one of the goats is your favorite?
Well, I think if you follow my page, there's no doubt that Romeo is my favorite. I love all of the goats, obviously, but Romeo, he is just, he's really
He's a
special.
heartbreaker?
He really is.
That's fine. So what is, we're going to take a quick break right now, but when we get back, we'll be able to tame all the goats of Goat Simulator.
My name is Lauren Sless. I am the managing editor for the Daily Barometer, and I will be the editor-in-chief for next year. My time at OMN has been amazing. It's incredible to see all the people up here and all the amazing hard work that we put into making our paper. I think that the whole goal of a publication, no matter what publication it is to be a voice for the voiceless and to create a community where people can be heard that otherwise wouldn't be. We had an issue last term concerning homelessness in Corvallis, and we featured a student who's homeless, and he was on our front cover, and we had a profile on him. And about 2 days after the article came out, we received a phone call from a business owner in Corvallis offering this student a job because he was inspired by the story that we'd written. Another part of Orange Media Network I love is a community that is up here and the relations I've built. I mean, there's so many incredibly talented people up here, no matter what medium they're working for, and just be able to be surrounded by all of these people has been absolutely amazing and fantastic. And I know that no matter what I study at school, no matter how my grades are, I know that I'm going to do a lot better in my real life after graduation because of this job. And not everyone up here is involved in journalism either. I think if you have a willingness to tell stories and want to be able to connect with people and learn skills that you wouldn't learn in any classroom, I think this is a great place for people. So I would encourage anyone, if you have any aspirations to do something with your life that involves working with people, telling stories, or being part of a community, a really talented, amazing community, go for it. You'll not regret it.
Tonight we thought it was only fitting to do Goat Simulator with the Goat Yoga.
Goat Simulator is a 2014 title that was developed by Coffee Stain Studios and who had a rather non-traditional start in life.
Goat Simulator started life as another game, but there was a bug in the physics engine that made the developers laugh and was popular with the Kickstarter backers. Eventually, they made the whole game based around the physics bug bringing to life what we know as Goat Simulator.
Nowadays, it can be found on all consoles and has multiple expansion packs bringing about more ways to cause mayhem with goats.
Lainey, you ready to play?
I'm pretty much ready, kind of.
All right, well then let's get into it. So I guess a good question would be, what is your experience with video games?
This is it.
This is it, okay. Well,
I did play Pac-Man and Frogger when I was like 5.
So the old schools, okay. Oh boy. Well, this is definitely a different type of game.
Have you ever seen a goat like that? That's
I
a
don't
pretty
think I've
big
ever seen a
That
goat
is
try to ride a bike. I don't think that's
Oh
possible.
my
I
god.
just got hit by a car.
Oh no.
Oh, it's good.
That is like
Don't worry, viewers.
that is
No
like
goats were
Hancock's
harmed in the
goat.
making of this game. No real goats, at least.
No. Lainey's goat's from prison.
So this game is what a lot of people would call a sandbox game, which means that there's no actual goal or like main storyline.
Am I levitating?
So you just kind of run around in this game and
get hit by
cause
cars.
yeah, you just
Cause mayhem.
or cause mayhem or
Be a goat.
be a goat. There's a bunch of different goats you can be.
You know how goats
Ooh, I
eat
almost
everything. You can just eat
spilled myself.
everything.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, look
So
at
here
those
we
goats.
have the tall goat, otherwise known as a giraffe. And the physics works exactly the same as it does with the regular goats, so it looks a lot crazier. And it was ragdolled out. Just lie down on the ground.
I think I'm stuck in a tree.
Oh, are you stuck in? Oh, you got stuck in. Oh,
my.
no, you're good.
No, you're out of there.
I'm just walking sideways.
Your goat is still levitating.
Whoa. I think I'm
There's
gonna
a space
try
goat.
to get up to that helicopter that's up there.
I don't know.
I don't know how I get up there though. Wait, what did I do? Oh, it's
You gotta turn into the Spidey goat.
Is my
Is there a
levitating?
Spidey goat? That'd be so cool.
No.
Is your goat levitating?
It's-
Oh my
Unfortunately,
goodness,
It
that's so
is.
strange.
Yeah.
That's how talented I am in this game.
Yeah. That's
Alright,
how
I
many
switched
levels
to
you
the
gotta,
devil
you gotta
goat.
be all the levels and be a goat yoga.
I'm doing goat yoga with this.
Yeah.
With this man. Oh, wow, he looks really relaxed.
Once you create a tribute to something like goat yoga, they give you levitating powers.
Yeah, once you're. Oh, I just like clipped through the building. Okay, let's see. Oh, maybe if I climb the stairs, I can get to the top of the building. Oh no.
Maybe if you climb the stairs, who knows?
I think there might be a trampoline too.
It could be a secret door to the bottom.
Oh, is there?
There's an elevator.
Let's see. I heard from a friend that there was an elevator in
One
here
of those
somewhere.
doors. Could Alice in
Let's see.
Wonderland.
Nope, that's a stool. I headbutted a stool. I got points for that. Cool.
I like how his neck just freaking turns into like a rubber band when you run into things.
Oh, there's the elevator.
Oh,
Oh, and it just transports me straight to the top. All right, now
Right
where's
to
the helicopter?
The party.
That's the question. Oh, if I
Oh,
jump on that.
jump on those. Oh.
Where's the helicopter though? I want to like lick the helicopter.
It's like
Oh,
you're-
there's like fireworks.
You're gonna
think-
lick the helicopter.
Oh my gosh, what is this?
Lainey, are there any cool goat facts do you think people should know? That like maybe is not a traditional thing that people know about goats?
Goats have 4 stomachs.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So they're like kind of like cows in that sense.
Yep, they're ruminants.
Ah.
And
Yeah, they were chewing some cud
they
while we
also,
were there.
everyone thinks that goats eat everything, which is not true. My goats are actually fairly picky. They eat branches, leaves, and grass, and but what they do like to do is they just like to mess around with people. And so buttons, zippers, my goats know how to unzip and zip back up zippers. So they'll go doot, 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 back and forth. They just love to mess with anything that's like dangling off your shoelaces. So I think that's where they get that bad reputation that they eat everything, is just because they're inquisitive and they like to check things out. And so we've actually made goat toys for the goats that just like hang off your belt loop or something,
can come and nibble
just so
on
that they have something to mess with.
I made sure to tuck my shoelaces into my shoe when I came into the goat yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the goats kept like coming up and nibbling on like my ear and my hat.
Yeah, they do like to do that. You know, my goats really only they just will they don't outright bite you.
Yeah,
but
it's
they
almost-
remind you
Yeah.
that they want to be pet if you stop petting them.
It's almost like, hey, can I bite this here? Let me just
Yeah,
let me
and
just get a
people
little
get freaked
taste.
out, so they just keep on petting them the whole entire time. So I just ran over that person.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, the skateboard is like clipping into the ground. That's so funny.
Oh,
It got stuck.
I really think there should be a goat yoga game, though.
That would be
man.
that would be awesome.
how do you think it'd be
I
played?
should probably develop it. So,
Really? What do you think would be the objective of the game?
well, goats jumping on people, and each goat would have to make the humans happy.
You,
What do you think the ideal animal would be to do yoga with?
Goats.
Really?
Well, if you think about it, okay, rabbits, let's examine all the ones that are getting popular right now. Horse yoga. Have you heard of that one?
no,
So I'm not exactly
That sounds kind of
sure
dangerous.
how that works, but I think people get on top of the horse and do yoga poses.
Oh,
I'm not
well, you'd
sure.
have to have very patient horses.
Yeah,
I
you need to be pretty
figure.
skilled. They do bunny yoga, but I'm not a big bunny expert either, so I'm not sure if they're real friendly and cuddly. But the perfect thing about goats is that they have this sense of calm about them. And so when you're with them, you kind of take on that energy, and yet they make you laugh too. So it's kind of this both calmness that people are after right now and a sense of joy that it gives you. And so I think that's why they're the perfect therapy animals and yoga partners. They also do kitten yoga, I think, but I would think their claws would be a little
So,
scary.
so I gotta ask you this, because when I first heard of goat yoga, like the actual goat yoga, because I had a different meaning for it, but I couldn't help but bring myself to think of lamb yoga. What about lamb? What do you think of lamb yoga?
Well, my New York location actually has a couple of lambs in their class.
really?
They even had, they adopted this little rescue cow.
Oh, cute.
And so at their last class, they had this little calf and a couple of lambs. But, I think sheep aren't as social and friendly as goats are.
Okay.
And so that's another thing that makes the goats, I think the best yoga partner. They have puppy yoga too, which I think would be adorable, because who doesn't love puppies? But puppies have sharp teeth,
That's true. Yeah.
so
Puppies will bite you. Goats will maybe nibble a little bit
Yeah.
at you, but puppies will chew on your hand.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, when we started goat yoga, then all of a sudden all these other animal yogas started popping up. But, and I love all animals, and I would try every single one of them. But I really do feel that the goats just kind of have a leg up on all the other ones, because they have that sense of calm.
Yeah.
And you've been to the class, so you know how relaxing it is, and yet there's times in the class where the whole class just busts out laughing,
Yeah.
and it's just the mixture of both of them.
I don't know. They're so friendly and innocent, and it's like hard to be mad at them for invading your space.
Yeah. Well, you telling me the story of your I call it goat savasana. It's the final relaxation pose. And you're laying there with your eyes closed, and all of a sudden you open your eyes and there's a goat this close to your face.
That's exactly what happened when we were doing goat yoga. We were in the shavasana in the end, and they were just climbing on top of us.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just like, I want to stand here.
Oh, did you knock that other
I think
goat
you might
over?
find. I think you
Oh,
might have
no.
found the arena.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, you guys are licking each
It
other.
just licked me. All my goats are pretty nice to each other.
Is Quincy was one of the goats that was climbing all over everybody. So is he usually that mischievous?
He is. I think he thinks he's a baby still. I don't know what his thing is, but none of the other adult goats jump on people. So, Romeo tries to climb in my lap, but Romeo doesn't get to go to goat yoga anymore because he's getting too big, and I'm afraid he's like so loving now that I'm afraid he would hurt somebody because he would try to climb up on top of you. So he's just my private therapy goat now.
Can you tell us the story of Romeo? We want to know about Romeo.
I got Romeo from a farm in Lebanon, and, they are meat goats, so they would have been sold as meat. And when I went to visit, he's just so beautiful. They're these brown, they're called dappled goats, and it's brown and white spots, and he had like this heart shape on his head. And of course, like when you see that, I just totally fell in love with him. And so I was just going to get him, and when I went to pick him up, he had a twin brother, and and they were all snuggling together. And so of course I can't just take him away from his brother.
Yeah.
So I took both. So now I have Fabio and Romeo, and they're twins, and they're both, just really. They were both goat yoga goats last year, and they loved everybody. And Romeo was a crowd favorite for sure.
I bet.
Yeah, but that's the story of Romeo. I can't believe they're alive, actually, because there was times that I thought they were going to die because they were so sick. So Romeo lived in my house for a little bit in a playpen, not too long, but that's quite an experience having a goat live in your house. I did see videos of that on Facebook, and I thought, what kind of person has a goat live in their house? Well, apparently I do, because they need that extra, like it's the intensive care unit, So I just had Dempsey live in my house, and he's the one that you were holding in the show.
The little floppy ear.
Yep. So, and I'm still bottle feeding him, and he was a quad, and he came out. His back legs didn't work, so we put splints on his back legs, and in no time now he's running around, jumping, and he's just fine. And so, these rescue goats, they're just so loving, and it's almost like they know they got rescued, so it's really neat.
So what's the difference between the goat that Huey's carrying with the floppy ears and the other goats that you have?
All my other ones are Nigerian dwarf goats, and so they're the mini goats. So they kind of work best for goat yoga, especially since they're jumping on top of people.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a natural instinct for them to jump on top of things, and it just happens to be the humans that they jump on top of. So when you're a prey animal, they want to be up top on things so they can see and be protected. So that's why they do that, and they're just very playful, when they're babies too. Oops.
I noticed that goats keep like this constant fixture with their mouth that's just like a constant chew. Are they chewing on anything specific?
Yeah, they're chewing their cud. So they have 4 stomachs, and when they eat, it goes into one stomach, ferments, and then they bring it back up, and then they chew their cud, and it's just part of their digesting process. Watching that, I don't know if you checked it out much when you were there, but it's oddly relaxing to watch that. It's methodical and slow, and you just kind of get into this rhythm of watching it, and I know it sounds strange, but it's just really relaxing to watch.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we are out of time. This is the end of our goat-themed adventures.
At least for now. We want to thank our guest, Lainey Morse, and the goats for letting us visit them, and our viewers for tuning in.
And remember,
it's always better to game together. For now, we want to thank our guest, Lainey Morse, and the goats for letting us visit them, and our viewers for tuning in.
And remember,
it's always better to game together. For now, we want to thank our guest, Lainey Morse, and the goats for letting us visit them, and our viewers for tuning in.